everyone. Welcome to the Play Choices podcast, a podcast you hear. I'm your host, V.
Hi, I'm the co-host Lucas.
So, we're going to spend this episode discussing Open Heart Book 1, chapters 3 through 4. This episode is not spoiler safe, so if you want to avoid spoilers for Open Heart Book 1, chapters 1 through 4, please go read those first, and we'll be here for you to come back and listen. I will say before we even start the discussion for this episode, I do have a content warning. I mean, usually for Open Heart, we don't have a content warning, but these next couple of chapters that we discuss do contain topics relating to childbirth, trauma, and death. So if you do find that type of content disturbing, please come back to a later episode where we're not discussing such subject matter. Hi, Lucas.
Hi, baby. Hi.
This is a heavy set of chapters.
It's very heavy. It is very heavy. Yeah.
We're going to try to introduce the jokes and stuff, where we can, but
Right, as they come naturally.
as they come naturally. We're not going to force like anything that's unsavory.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just some heavy content, and like
Mhm.
did you want to say to me what you were saying on the phone before we started recording?
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, because this was a good conversation. We had a good little mini conversation. So it was
Mm-hmm.
weird being a part of a earlier choices chapter for a book because I just felt like the writing and like the things that they were talking about, I was surprised because in my head, choices never really does what you think that they would do that makes like the most sense. Like, we've always talked about how like the genres of the books or like the occupations of the workers, like it doesn't really make sense and like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like coming into Open Heart, I full expectantly thought that this would just be like a over dramatic, like focus more on the relationships that you have with your coworkers and like Ramsey than it would be like the patients and like actually having like serious conversations of like them dying and stuff. So I was completely shocked these last two chapters and I was like, wow, like the writing in these chapters are actually like pretty good and like they are actually like talking about heavy situations and concepts when it comes to like being a medical worker, and I was like full on surprised. I really was.
Yeah, and the thing that I was explaining to Lucas is that like Open Heart book 1 was written in like 2018, 2019 kind of, and that was kind of like what I call the golden era of choices. So I think this was like what we look back as is like very nostalgically, very like, oh, this was like when books were good kind of thing, you know what I mean? And so I think that's just something to kind of keep in mind for you personally, that like we've gotten some real shit ones. So like I do not blame you at all for being surprised, but it is one of those things where it's like some of the books like Ride or Die was written around this time frame too,
Right.
just for context.
Oh, love
So
Ride or
it's
Die.
like two books that a book that we really love, and like you're now starting to kind of get more of a feel of what Open Heart
Mm-hmm.
is about, and we're able to kind of have this discussion about like, oh, the content's actually like kind of like hitting a little bit heavy. And I
Yeah.
think that's because, oh, by the way, the person who wrote Ride or Die also wrote Open Heart Book 1.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Right. I think his name's Luke. I don't know if he still works for the company. Also wrote Endless Summer and Most Wanted. And apparently worked on Platinum, which are all really very highly coveted books. So Luke's
Good for
just a winner.
him. Yeah, absolutely.
Luke's just a winner. I don't know if Luke's involved with book 2 and book 3, and if he is, that's a whole different conversation. But book 1, great. Really good. So, do you just I feel like we should just get into it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with chapter 3, titled Hanging in the Balance. As a reminder, the default MC name for this book is Casey Valentine, so we're going to be referring to the MC as Casey. The summary says the hunt is on for a new apartment, but can you and your future roommates find time for a life outside the hospital? Casey will show up for their next day of work and will run into a group of surgeons playing basketball, which of course Bryce is there,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So
Go over it.
I see the type of character that I think Bryce is, that I get the impression of, is like that cocky go-getter, but like he does have the ability to be, very sympathetic and empathetic when he needs to be. So Bryce is on the court. he playing basketball. He's like, yeah, none of y'all can touch me. I'm the best. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's very cute. He sees you. There's the option to, flirt with him and play basketball in a little bit. And that's what I was doing. And then in the, as that scene continues, he like wraps his arms around you. And I just thought it was a very cute, endearing moment. I fangirl so hard over Bryce.
I will say it was definitely nice to have some quality time with my mans. I am also a Bryce stan, so I very much enjoy that little cameo in the beginning, them just kind of like feeding us a little bit of love. He was also shirtless at the scene, so I'm not mad at that either. I love to run into a hot guy who is casually nude.
Yes,
I love
casually.
that. It's really just a scene to flirt with Bryce. Obviously, neither of us have a problem with that. And Casey will later meet up with Jackie and Sienna in the locker room, and they'll begin discussing an apartment that Sienna found. They do agree that if the place is available, they'll need to sign it for it today. I guess high demand and whatnot.
Right.
So those girls, as well as Landry and Elijah, will meet up later to find out who their senior residents are. So we are formally introduced to Dr. Ines de la Rosa and Dr. Zaid Marani. Ines is just very sweet and bubbly, and Zaid is much less warm than Ines is.
Right.
Yeah, the group of interns will meet up with Ethan for the interns to present their patients and questions to. Casey and Landry will begin with their patient, and Landry will freeze under the spotlight. Casey can either speak up for him or give him some time. What did you do?
No, I gave him some time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really trying to play this character that's just like, we'll help out, my fellow colleagues. I just want to learn. I got Bryce by my side. It's fine.
Not you already claiming Bryce.
No, baby, he mine. He really is.
We in chapter 4, and you're like, yeah, I have Bryce by my side.
I mean, well, again, that's on brand for me because I'm like, oh, he's so mine, and then like a different scene
He's
with the
so
different
not.
outline.
And
Right,
then meanwhile,
right.
he's so not.
A different scene with like a different outline. I'm like, well, well.
Mm. I love that you're like, I already have my man, so I'm just content. And if Landry needs some time to gather himself, then
Yeah.
he can do that.
Like, he can't be blessed like all of us, you know? Like,
Yeah. Well, I just let Landry, again, like you said, just take the time for himself. I didn't know what he was going to say, anyways, so I don't really feel like it was my time to speak up for him.
right,
Casey
it's not
seems
my patient.
Well, it is your patient.
Oh,
It
got
is
you.
your
Okay.
Right. I think it's like y'all had to work in like pairs and then present like here's the patient,
Okay.
here's the questions I have about like their care, yada yada yada. And like present like what your theory is, and that's when Ethan kind of gives you feedback, I think is how that process works. If you do speak for Landry, he says that he wanted the opportunity to finish it himself, which I agree with. Like I think people will give you cues when they want you to jump in, like
And also, if that is not said, it's kind of like, I mean, like, we kind of see what these type of doctors are, and like, I feel like they would have no problem being like, oh, you're kind of taking too long, like, Valentine, you like want to take point on this, like, something like
yeah,
that,
we
like,
all know Ethan's a fucking asshole.
yeah.
So like he would definitely say some shit like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just like, it just wasn't the time or place to like try to boast.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think speaking up for him is kind of like the asshole thing to do. So the group will finish their presentations, and Ethan will pull Casey aside and make them present a new case for a patient named Kyra Santana. We learn that Kyra has cancer in her left lung. After Casey announces that they intend to cast Kyra's recently broken arm, Ethan abruptly leaves, and Kyra will reveal that she's actually supposed to go into surgery for her cancer. Kyra also begins flirting with Casey very heavily. Like,
I mean, no room for interpretation. Like,
there's absolutely no way you could have misinterpreted this.
right. There's just there's no way.
Mm-mm. How do you feel about Kyra from like this introductory scene?
So, how I feel about her is very much how I I think I like give her advice, because like she states that she broke her arm because she's never rode a bike before and she found some stray bike on the side of the road and she decided to ride it. And I was like, seize the day. Because
Mhm.
I feel like, and this is just from the outside looking in, but she has cancer, which is already very severe. And it's just like, very dark subject to talk about.
Mhm.
And I just think that like if I would have cancer, I would just try to find joy in like any way that I can. And if I
Right.
know someone has cancer, I would want to give them joy in like any way that I could.
Right. No, I think like how do you really appropriately deal with the idea of like your impending death? You
Right,
know?
right.
Is there really a way to like not have some sort of like lingering kind of anxiety about it? And like I do enjoy this character who is just like so outwardly like
Mhm.
outrageous and obnoxious because it's like what if you gonna die, like who cares about social norms, bitch?
Exactly.
Who
Exactly.
cares? And as someone who also can't ride a bike, I relate to her. So I understand what she's going through. I mean, no, I
Right.
don't. No, I don't. Why did I say that?
You're sympathetic over what she's going through.
I'm sympathetic over what she's going through, and I understand the whole thing because, like, there's a lot of stuff that I never learned how to do that is pretty commonplace for, like, I would think the majority of people who were raised in the same country as me. And I could see myself like if someone told me like, "Oh yeah, this is the exact date and time where you're going to die." I could see myself kind of pushing myself a little bit more to accomplish those things. So yeah, we love Kyra.
Yeah, we do. We do. We
We
do.
do. We do. She's enthusiastic. She's kind of like the overly optimistic person, but that doesn't make you feel sick to your stomach when they're done with their over optimism, right?
Yes, 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 yes. You're just like I it's almost like you can understand why she's overly optimism, which makes you optimistic yourself. You're like, "Yes, girl.
Mhm.
Like I'm
You're
with
like, I
you."
kind of have to be in a good mood because like you're not
Absolutely.
letting me be down in the dumps about your situation. Whereas like
Absolutely.
if you compare her to other characters like Sienna, Sienna's optimism kind of feels like it stems from like a little bit of naivete,
Mhm.
and I don't get that sense from Kyra.
Especially later on. We'll talk about it. Especially later on. I was like, "Girl,
Uh-huh.
mm."
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay, so later Casey is in the hallway when Ethan and other doctors rush a seizing man down the hall. Ethan explains to another attending that another hospital couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, but his vitals dropped. The book will then prompt you to decide who is there with you, either Jackie or Bryce. I would ask, but I already know you pick Bryce.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so either way, we learn that the mystery attending is Naveen Banerjee, and he runs the diagnostics team, which gets notoriously tough cases. There is a 17 diamond scene to sneak into the observation deck and watch the doctor's work. Did you take this?
Absolutely. I did. I did. I think I took it more so because
A Bryce.
yeah, that I did about the actual like situation. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm being like completely transparent,
Let's be
like
honest, the setup was more so about the allies than it was to learn about the diagnostics
oh,
team.
absolutely. Absolutely.
It was not, it was very much like a romance scene and, and not so much like not so much like let's sneak in to see like their brilliant work with the diagnostics team, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was like sneak into the observation deck and get some steamy time with Jackie or Bryce.
Right, right.
I took the scene too. If you take the scene with Bryce, Bryce will ask Casey why they didn't want to be a surgeon, and it's yet another opportunity for Casey to insult surgeons. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get away from this. It's only chapter 3, and I'm already tired of it.
It's
I
just like an
don't know how
ongoing
much.
joke.
Yeah, and it's not funny.
Mm-mm. It's not. It's
It's not
not.
funny at all. It's very, like, over the top, very just dumb. Like, they just call them scalpel jockeys, and it's like, seems to be the only insult they can seem to use in this book for whatever reason. I feel like Grey's Anatomy said that one time, and the Choices writers was like, "That's the only insult I've ever heard them say to a surgeon." So like, we just have to use it
Which is
every single time it comes
completely.
up.
It's just so crazy how like Casey's like, yeah, well, we just tell you guys what to cut. Like, okay, like, I mean, that's like me going up to someone saying like, build a house. I could do that too. Build a house. Here's some blueprints. I'm like, what? Here's a
Right.
blueprint. Like, I mean, come
Right.
on, like.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, let me interrupt with some plugs. You can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/message. It could show up in a future episode. You can also directly support this podcast by going to anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support, which will allow you to support us on a monthly basis. You can also go to streamlabs.com/playchoicespodcast/tip to make a one-time tip. All of these links will also be available in the episode description. Thank you for your support, and let's get back to the episode. So at the scene with Jackie, the two will nerd out over the diagnosing process. The scene is mostly set up for a flirting scene, as I said, and isn't really so much about the diagnosis. It's just really to have some extra time with your LI, which am I necessarily mad about that? No, not at all. Because it's not like we get to organically see Jackie or Bryce all that much in these next couple of
Not at
chapters,
all.
right?
Not
It's
at all.
primarily through diamond scenes.
Yes, like they're not. I mean, it's not like they're part of like the Notorious Intern 5, or that they're not getting a place with us.
Right.
They're not even in the
Well,
same
Jackie
program.
is. Jackie is.
Oh,
Jackie
Jackie's
is one
part
of
of it,
her
yeah.
roommates. Yeah.
But like Bryce, not even in the same specialty or program. Jackie's
No.
not in the same. Like, it's just like, it's scraps, and I'm gonna eat these scraps. Like,
Uh-huh. I'm
I'm
gonna lick up the
hungry.
plate. I'm
Yeah,
gonna lick it up. I'm gonna
I'm
lick
gonna
it
get
up.
all the crumbs.
And you know what? I am enjoying this mechanic where they let us pick which LI we find. It's not
I
predetermined. It's not like it's like,
Yes,
oh, you get Jackie this time and then Bryce next time. No, I like that they wrote the scene for both characters.
I love it. I really do.
I love it. I mean, it's a great mechanic, and
Yeah,
I hope that I continue to see that in future games.
no waste of time. I love it.
No waste of
I
time.
mean, it's almost like they give you a choice.
Oh, what ingenious concept. Where
I
did you
know,
come up
right?
with that?
I don't know.
I just like went to sleep and it came to me. So later, Landry and Casey will check up on their patient from their morning rounds. His name is Mike, and he got into a car accident that caused internal bleeding. They learn that he is now experiencing migraines. The correct diagnosis is that Mike is actually taking his son's ADHD meds, which causes him to have migraines, which caused a car accident. So after this, Sienna will send a text requesting the group to join her to check out the apartment. Farley, who is a landlord, will show the group 2 apartments, including a nicer one you can purchase for 20 diamonds. Did you get this apartment?
I did. I did. I don't know. There's just something prideful that brought me to that decision, and I'm like,
Mm,
no, 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 no. I gotta no. Mm-mm.
I kept the poor apartment and my Section 8 housing. I kept my Section 8 housing and all throughout, the 3 books, and I kept it in this one too. It's fine. It's quirky,
It
like,
is. It is. What really had me is that if you do, take the diamond scene, and you persuade, the landlord that like, oh,
mm-hmm.
my friend here like bakes. When he said he go put that in the leasing agreement, I was weak. You hear
Oh
me?
my
I
God,
was.
I never saw the dialogue because I never purchased the
Yes,
room.
yes. He literally says, because like he was eating Sienna's cookies, and Casey goes up and is like, oh well, you like cookies and like baking products, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the landlord was like, yeah. And Casey's like, well, my friend Sienna would like agree to bake for you if you let us get this apartment for the listing price. And like she's
Mm.
like listing off everything that she bakes, and he's like, do you do cobblers? And she's like, yeah, of course, like I love making cobblers. And he was like, okay, you can have it for the listing price, but I'm putting like your baking thing in the leasing agreement. And I was like,
Could you
okay.
imagine him trying to take that to court if she didn't fulfill that part of the agreement? What would that look like? Someone get Gabe Rishi in here.
Like, imagine, like, literally imagine Gabe
Trying
being
to
like,
argue.
right.
Sienna did actually bake a sufficient number of cobblers to satisfy his need, his physical, to satiate his hunger.
Like, what are we talking about? I feel like in order for me to be like, okay, cool, like, I'll take you up on this agreement, is maybe like a dish a week. Cause this ain't about to be no everyday
Mm,
thing.
hell no, bitch,
This
for
ain't about to be, no,
doctors.
fuck that, bitch. I'll
What do
take
I
Section
look
8.
like? What do I look like?
Hell no.
Oh my God, yeah, what is the frequency in which she has to fulfill this? Did it make it
Yeah.
specific or during the dialogue?
Well, Sienna says, I bake daily, and automatically I was like, girl, shut
Oh
up.
no 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 no
I
no,
said,
sweetie. No
shut
no no no.
up.
What the fuck? She does not. Why
No,
is she offering that much information? Now you gotta say from
I
a little bit of
know.
everything that
I
you bake.
know.
And what if you have a hard day at the hospital and you don't feel like baking muffins that day?
Right. I said,
First
you
of
set
all,
yourself up
is
for
this even safe
failure.
to agree to? Should Farley even be eating that many? Who's eating all these sweets? Who is Sienna baking for?
That's what I'm saying. I said, it has
Her
to be
bitch
on
ass
like,
boyfriend?
we'll get there. Actually, we won't because we don't spend time talking about trash.
No, we
He
really do
absent and
not.
he trashy. He absent and he is trashy, and that
How
is
have I
his
not seen
character.
your face one time and I still don't like your ass?
I know. And I knew it was gonna be bad because she just kept like making excuses like, oh, he's busy. Like there's a point where Casey's like, and so are you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the one thing that I will say that's like very head ass of these characters is like I hate it when you make a new friend and you're telling about your boyfriend and your new friend is like, I don't like your boyfriend. I'm like, bitch, you do not know the context. You have been here for 2 days and her whole friend group swarmed around her and told her like you should break up with your boyfriend. And I just do not know who has the comfort to be saying that
I
to a person they've known of 2 days.
know. Well, they roommates now.
Well,
Casey over here like, I'm the reason why we got this nice ass apartment. I'm about to tell you how it is.
right on the back of Sienna. So don't you think you should be nicer to her?
Right. True.
Oh my
Can you
god.
imagine them like hounding her and like she just like comes out and she's like, if any of y'all say any derogatory remark about my man, I'm not baking our landlord anything.
Right, and watch us have to pay like an extra $400 this month. Watch it.
Ooh, ooh.
Watch it. There's gonna be something broken, and Farley's gonna be like, "I am not calling a mechanic to come in and fix it until I get cookies. Only if you bake me cookies will I call in someone to fix it."
You're right, girl. Do what you want to do.
Look at the slumlord situation.
Live your life.
Mm. There's nothing about the. I'm sorry, but there's nothing about the dialogue with that man that made me feel like he's not gonna be a slumlord. He has to be.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, he raised the price because the people who are looking at it ahead of you or after you or whoever were part of some like tech corporation, right? And that's why like the price got raised. And it's just like because you know that a person has more money, you raise the rent. It's like no. Like
Yeah,
that's
no, that's
yeah.
very. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It
Mm-hmm.
should be based upon market pricing,
Yes.
equitable market pricing, not about the salary. That's discrimination, right?
I
Not
mean,
me
you can
trying to quote
blacklist
legal
him.
stuff when I
I
don't
know, right?
know. I don't know.
I'll call Gabe. It's fine. Well, actually, I'll call Ashlyn because like I'm mad at Gabe. We not
Oh,
mixing boots. We is not about to mix it. Okay, guys.
damn, we drop.
So yeah, that's the diamond scene.
Ooh, yeah, that's the diamond scene. The way that this went left side really quickly, let's just move on. So later on, everyone is getting moved in, and Casey remembers that they left their ID at the hospital, so they decide to go pick it up. At the hospital, Casey will overhear an argument between Ethan and Naveen, where Ethan is apparently upset with the decision that Naveen has made, and the chapter ends on that cliffhanger. So, you just want to move on to chapter 4? Anything else you want to say about chapter 3 before we move on?
No. Let's go.
Okay, well, let's move on to chapter 4 titled Dolores. The summary says when your latest patient turns out to be an old friend of Dr. Ramsey's, he decides to work the case with you. Are you up to the challenge? Were you excited about having to spend a whole chapter with Ethan?
No, but I will say, if I'm being, speaking my candor, it was not as
Mm-hmm.
bad as I thought it was going to be. But I was not excited. I was like,
Oh,
why?
okay. Well,
I
I'm
said it
glad
could
that
be any
you.
other doctor.
It really could have been Inez, could have been Zayd,
Like
could have been
Jesus.
anybody. But listen, we all know who they're pushing in this in this book.
And I'm a push back. Okay.
Okay, so the chapter will begin with the team at the new apartment. Santa has cooked everyone breakfast. Does she have any time for
At
herself?
all, at all. Listen, when that was introduced, I said it better not be Sienna, and it was her, and I said, oh God. I mean, thank you, but like, are you taking care of yourself? I'm just concerned a little bit. All around, I'm concerned for her character.
Yeah. I think she's one of those people, and this is so interesting because I'm going to use a phrase that came up from like an actual conversation that I had with somebody recently. I think she's one of those people that's like a support character in everyone's lives. Like, I feel like she's very rarely focusing on herself and very mostly like emphasizing other people's needs before her own.
Right, right.
And I think that starts with her boyfriend. I think it continues with her
Mhm.
roommates. It continues with the
Mhm.
landlord. I hope we address this in future chapters. Sienna deserves better. Also, did I mention, I think it was last chapter that I mentioned that I will still Sienna from her man, so just give me the chance, open heart writers. Give me one chance to snatch her up from anyone. We learn that her boyfriend was supposed to come visit her, but keeps flaking. Elijah says that he wants to throw a housewarming party, which most roommates are agreeable to, except for Landry, of course. Jackie will bring up that Naveen quit the day before without any announcement, making everyone curious. That's a lot of stuff that happened in that scene. Sienna's boyfriend, there's a house party that Elijah wants to throw. Naveen quit, which I guess is what, Ethan was upset about, perhaps, in
Mhm.
the last chapter.
I like it because it almost seems like I think that's like a little realistic with like you have four other people that you live with. Each of them know like different information, have different lives, and we're just
Hmm.
spilling it all over breakfast. Like it's just like a lot to take in, but like I think it's a little realistic,
But
honestly.
you're living with like five people, right? You, Sienna,
Right.
Elijah, Landry, and Jackie. Like,
Mhm.
that's the thing is like, in some choices books, and I won't name names, I will not name names, but there are some choices books where they really make it sound like all of your friends like don't have lives of their own. And it's like everything revolves around the MC. And I like that they didn't structure it like that, you know?
Right. Right.
I like that they were very much like, no, like Sienna having issues with her boyfriend. Everyone's, commenting on that. Elijah's like, can we throw a housewarming party? And then everyone has
Yes.
to comment on that. It's like a actual back and forth, like realistic dialogue.
Yes. Yes.
And the side characters are actually like quite enjoyable.
Yes.
So I'm liking the kind of back and forth that has occurred between all these very different personalities.
Mhm. Same.
It's very interesting, very interesting. And then of course we have the rumor about Naveen, so that becomes a thing. So at the hospital, we have a couple of run-ins with characters. I'm just going to go over very quickly. Ethan and Dr. Harper Emery are arguing with each other, and Ethan is yet again angry at someone, but we still aren't sure why. Maybe relating to Naveen quitting, perhaps. In the hallway, we also run into Kyra. Kyra is yet again very flirtatious, and we learn that Bryce is assisting on her surgery. So later, Casey is in the ER. We run into Aurora, who is fending off some other enthusiastic doctors. She seems pretty annoyed by them and by the lack of cases in the ER. So suddenly, a paramedic comes in with a woman named Dolores Hudson, who is a pregnant woman who is caught in a fire. We learn that her and the baby have healthy heartbeats, but the paramedic rescued her from the fire, not the firefighters. Aurora will opt not to take the case, and she thinks it's going to be boring, which Aurora really not
I
coming
mean,
off good in these past couple of
no,
scenes,
listen.
bruh.
I did not understand her. I did not like her in these last couple scenes. I'm like, girl, what are you? What's like?
They're
What's your
really trying their
prerogative?
damn best to make us dislike her. Like,
It,
they really
really
are.
hard. They doing a good job too, but
No,
still,
they're
like,
doing a good job. She's very unlikable in these first couple of chapters.
I'm like,
Like,
what the fuck? She's like, he'll take it. I'm like,
I
okay.
really do. What is she? Does she want someone to come with like a pole in the middle of their chest? Like, what would make it interesting enough
But
for her to like?
here's the thing. She's in the same
Uh
program
huh.
as us, right? So if
Uh
someone
huh.
has a pole in their chest, most likely they're going to be rushed to the operating room where
Mm,
she's not a surgical intern. She's not going to do
right.
anything like that.
Right.
This isn't like Grey's Anatomy where like if someone comes with their fucking arm cut off, they're like, "Oh shit, rush him to the OR. Let's do this. Let's do this." Like Casey said, they're just there to tell the surgeons what to cut. So like what is she
Mm.
that's why I don't understand the character like development with her cuz what does she want? Like what does she want? She just
Yeah, I
finds
really don't
out
know what her angle is. I really do not know what her angle is in this book. Because, like, I don't know what would have to happen for her to think it's an interesting case. Like, it's a mother and her child, right? Like, and a pregnant, not like a mother and her child, but like a pregnant mother with her kid.
right.
And so it's like those two lives wrapped in one. Like, how does
Right.
it
That's a
become more interesting
bonus.
for you?
It's a
Right, a
2-in-1
bonus
special.
patient. You have a bonus. Lord, we getting canceled.
We getting canceled. We really are. Listen, we said the jokes was gonna happen
Oh,
naturally. This just
here we go.
happened. I'm a digress. I'm a digress.
I'm gonna move on. Oh, so Casey volunteers to do it. So before they begin with the case, Casey begins to talk to the paramedic, asking him about his risky decision to break in and save the woman before the firefighters got there. So he asked if they would do the same. What did you say?
I said I wish I could be that brave or something along the lines of that. I was like, in theory, I would want to, but I don't know.
It's nice a thought, but I ain't doing
Yeah.
that shit. I didn't go through training to survive a fire. Leave that because you know what? That's the thing is like I understand he's trying to frame himself as the hero and like, oh, I'll risk my life to save anybody. But very frequently in those type of situations, you know what actually happens is that the
Yeah.
firefighter now has to save your ass. And
Yeah.
like that's so rude. Why would
Yes.
you do that to
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Why would you do that to them? That's just so rude.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I do not think I would be like him where I would just swoop in and save the day. In fact, the patient might actually die because now they have to save me too. I think in most situations, you're probably just making it worse, right?
I mean, yeah.
I believe so. I believe so. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, let me interrupt to share our socials. We are at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram, Play Choices Pod on Twitter, and we're also on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com. I'll post any episode notes relating to this week's episode on Tumblr. We're also available for streaming on all major platforms. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review as reviews help us in the platform's algorithm. If you leave us a 5-star review, we'll read it on the podcast. As always, we are a growing podcast. If you see us on your socials, we appreciate a reblog, a retweet, or a share depending on the platform you see us on. We also love it when you share our podcast with your choices-loving friends. And back to the episode. So we learn that his name is Rafael Avero. So he'll introduce himself and quickly walk away as he's called on his walkie-talkie. In the hallway, we run into Ethan, and once Casey mentions the name of the patient, Ethan is very clearly concerned. Ethan will come with Casey to meet her, and we learn that Dolores was his first patient when he was an intern. They are very friendly with each other. Casey decides to get a chest x-ray, and Ethan recommends looking at her high blood pressure, which should be low. Dolores makes a request to find her purse because she had a toy in it for her child. It is an 18 diamond scene to find it for her. Did you take this?
I gotta be honest, I didn't.
I didn't either.
I didn't because I was like, I don't want to go anywhere with Ramsey. It's just like,
Oh my god.
mm-hmm. That's why I didn't take it. It wasn't even necessarily because I didn't want to go get the toy
Right.
for
It's
her.
not a slight against the baby.
It's not. I really did not want to. I don't want to spend diamonds on Ramsey while he's acting like this. Like I just do not. Like I don't.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I didn't take it. I just like I get that they're trying to pull on the heartstrings of the characters, but I gotta be honest with y'all. When it comes to plot lines involving children, I'm just really not that emotionally pulled by
Yeah.
it. And like, it is
Mm-mm.
very sweet. And like, I will admit that it is a very sweet gesture for her to be like, hey, I have a purse. I had a toy in it for my little baby boy. Can you please go get it? Like, I don't think in real life, if I was actually Casey in real life, I don't think I would be rejecting this request. But for diamonds to have to pay to experience this, I
Exactly.
don't think so.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, they don't even really entice you into the scene with Dolores herself. Like they really do make it like kind of like an Ethan thing, I feel like through
Oh,
the
yes,
dialogue, right?
absolutely. The moment I saw Ethan in the diamond, I said, nope, next. No, because I'm
No,
just, no, I don't care enough to be
do
with
not care to
him.
spend more time with him. I'm absolutely with
And in
you.
actuality, is this even possible? Like, we could just leave the hospital to retrieve, like, I mean,
Probably not.
right, it's not going to happen in real life. That's not something that
Open
could
Heart is
happen.
not known for its realism. It really is not. So if you do take the scene, we learn that Ethan and Dr. Emery used to be an item with each other, but they broke up a year ago, especially after she became his boss, which is probably a fair decision. Ethan also confirms that Naveen quit, so he's taking over the diagnostic team, which is probably what they were fighting about at the end of the last chapter. And they also get the item for Dolores. So later, the urine sample from Dolores will come back, and we learn that Dolores has a condition that causes blood flow of the placenta to slow. Ethan will suggest delivering the baby now, but Dolores refuses. Ethan pushes, saying that he hopes Dolores will come to her senses overnight. When they leave the room, Ethan will tell Casey to go home, saying that they're not ready for, what will happen with Dolores. On their way out, Casey will run into Bryce. He confirms that Kyra's surgery went smoothly, and Bryce will invite Casey to a concert, which is a 20 diamond scene with a new outfit. I know you took it.
I didn't.
No,
I'm gonna let the shock settle. I didn't. Let me tell you
What?
why. Let me
What?
tell you why. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Again, it's the same thing. Don't get me wrong. I love the writing with these chapters, right? But I do
Mhm.
not like the build up for the diamond scenes. I don't like it because
Mm.
what stopped me from taking this was with the new option. I don't fucking care. I don't care about the new outfit. I don't care because like I'm not
Mm.
gonna wear it. It's not something that I can wear throughout the game. It's
Mm.
not. It's just for that one night, and for them to upsize the diamond the diamond scene amount just because you get to wear an outfit on one scene. I'm like, no, I no.
Mm.
20
Okay, that's
diamonds.
interesting.
That's kind of a lot, a little bit for
It's a lot, but here's
for
okay. Here's
a earlier diamond scene. It's kind of I was like,
well, here's my response to that. If you didn't take
mm-hmm.
it, that's fine. But the thing I will say is that like okay, first of all, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a mechanic on the thing where like you can tap the top of the screen and it'll show the closet and you actually can change your character's outfits during a lot of the scenes. So you can put it on randomly. Does that mean you're gonna want to? Because it's like a concert outfit, so like you're probably not gonna want to wear it to work. But it is something that you can wear, I do believe again, but you have to like manually put that bitch on. like
And
which
you
I
know
don't know if
what?
most people are doing.
I might have a bug because I went to even I'm talking about
I think
for
sometimes it locks it. Am I
okay,
wrong? Am I
okay,
thinking about
okay.
Romance Club? Hold on.
No, listen, there is like when you tap on the bottom right hand corner of the gameplay, it has like a settings and then it has a
Mhm.
closet. But there
Mhm.
are only some stories that allow me to change my outfit. Like
Yeah.
and I didn't know that this was what like I think I was able to change my outfit for Queen Bee's one of them. Even the nanny affair, I've bought outfits I wasn't able to change. So I
Mm.
don't know if that's a bug issue or I don't know, but I
I
was
think
like,
it may just be locked for specific things. But I also could be confusing it with let me know in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, put it in the comments. Let me know if I'm confusing it with Romance Club. Because I know Romance Club, you can like very click in and out very easily. And I change outfits pretty frequently in Romance Club, whereas I don't find myself doing the same thing with choices. But I do think that it may just be locked depending on like what the actual scene is.
right, right.
Let me go ahead and open up a book that I'm in the middle of. Okay, let's open up Nanny Affair book 2. And I'm right at the beginning of this chapter. Yeah, no, there's a closet option. Okay, I'm at the title screen. Okay, no. Yeah, I can change outfits. Okay, so I'm not making this shit up. It's probably just locked because of the scene.
Right, right. They're like, you about to, because I think that's when I checked it too. When I saw that,
Mhm.
I checked it a little bit after that scene, and I was like, do I got outfits for this character? And it just would not.
Yeah.
It would not.
Yeah. But the other thing I will say is like the diamond scene with Ethan was like 18 diamonds and there was no new outfit. So why do you feel like this is like I understand thinking the straight up dollar or diamond amount is a lot, but I mean considering like other diamond scenes, it seems to be kind of on par for like what open heart values their diamond scenes at.
You know what? I guess that argument's invalid. I didn't even see how much the diamonds was for Ramsey's scene.
Oh, it was
I saw him and I said, I'm out.
18 diamonds. There's another diamond scene with him that's 19. The apartment's 20. Sneaking into the observation deck is
Wow, yeah, that
17.
is kind. They're all kind of the norm.
Yeah. Damn, so you really said you not gonna spend some money on Bryce?
I should have. I really should have. I
It's okay,
didn't.
baby. I'll take you through the scene. It's okay.
Oh, okay. If I close my eyes, I can pretend it
Just
happened.
imagine it. Just imagine it. Close your eyes and just let it visualize in your mind. So at the venue, Bryce will reveal that he never actually listened to the band and just wanted to try something new, which is some bullshit. Why you invited me to spend? Well, actually, isn't it a free concert? I don't know if it's free concert. I think it was. Let's make the assumption that it's a free concert
Right,
because if not,
right.
I'm gonna be mad. And Bryce will say that Casey came with him despite not knowing the band either, so they must be very alike, and Bryce will compliment their spontaneity. Casey will admit to expecting Bryce to be either a skin deep beauty or an asshole, depending on your choices, and Bryce will take it as a compliment, saying that people have counted him out for various reasons throughout his life. He doesn't provide much more details. So, I feel like Bryce
Mm.
is one of those characters, like, he will not let anyone insult him. Like,
Exactly.
he will never.
Exactly.
He will never.
Oh, he's cute. Little
Mm-hmm.
cutie.
Oh, I love Bryce. Oh, I love him. Later that night, Casey is notified that they took Dolores to surgery. It was brought on by a seizure, forcing her to deliver the baby, and Dolores died, and the baby has a low chance of survival. Casey begins to console Ethan, but he walks away, asserting that he's fine. Casey will go spend time with the baby and learns that Dolores wanted to name him after Ethan. Ethan will join her, asking if he can spend the night with the baby as well. Is a 19 diamond scene. Did you take it?
Yes.
Mm.
Guys, the heartstrings got to me in this moment.
The
I didn't.
baby, yeah,
It's
no, the
because
baby's rough. The baby thing is rough.
it's rough, and also
Mm-hmm.
like they were really close friends. Like, they again that is revealed, but I think it's revealed in the scene. But
Mm-hmm.
he
Yeah.
really knew her, so I was like,
Yeah,
I
no,
am
they
in
kept in
no
touch. They kept
yes.
in touch throughout the years.
And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I am in no way have any authority to be like, no, you can't see your good friend's baby. Like, no, I can't. Definitely after she named it after him,
Yeah.
I was like, just sit down, try not to annoy me.
You said just be quiet. Just
Yeah,
sit
like
next to me in
literally,
silence.
be quiet, be quiet.
I think of you saying no. I think it's just that like Ethan stays and Casey leaves, right? So Ethan still does get some one-on-one time with the child. I also love that during your answer you refer to the child as an it. That was probably the funniest part about that whole spiel. You refuse to give the baby an actual pronoun, just referred to the baby as an item.
Well, I was gonna name the baby by the name, but I refuse. So
Oh.
I'll say him. I'll say
you,
him.
you said Dolores really hated that child because to name it after Ethan? Mm-mm.
Oh,
No.
but he holding on strong.
Yep.
Little what was it? What
Ethan
little
Jr.
little tadpod? What was it? Tadpole? What?
Tadpod?
No, listen. No, it was
Oh, the
tadpole.
tadpole. Tadpole. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? What did you
Oh my
say?
god. Oh my
That's right.
god.
Dolores did call the baby little tadpole. You are correct. And what had like a frog charm for the baby?
Yeah,
You know how
yeah.
fucked up it is to not go get the toy and then for Dolores to die.
But
We
I had to
we
take the
bad
diamond scene.
people.
I had to
We ain't
take.
bad people. That's why we got guilted into the diamond
I
scene because we
had
said
to.
we are not getting that toy that your mother
I
begged us to go
know.
get for
The
you, and
least
then
I
she
could do.
dies.
The least I could do is hold your hand throughout the night. Like that's.
Right. You said, I am so sorry that I did not get you the one keepsake that your mother begged for us to go get.
I
So,
mean, truly, if I knew she would have died, I definitely would have gotten it for the
right.
little champ. But I didn't,
The
and
little
yeah.
champ. She just creating her own nicknames.
So, and this is what I'm saying. The writing was very, deep, emotional. It definitely evoked a lot of feelings. So I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
it was good. It was good. But yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah,
I had to
yeah.
look at his stupid face in there for a little bit.
Ooh, you are really not happy about this, huh? You are really.
Because I tried to pride myself with not taking diamond scenes with Ethan Ramsey because I have nothing to do with him. And what were they able to do? Make me take a fucking diamond scene with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's
oh,
what they really pair you and Ethan with like these just overall like really difficult to refuse diamond scenes, and because it's always like Ethan and heartstring pulled, whereas like I feel like with Jackie and Bryce it's like usually something kind of like silly and it's like purely because of the characters are you wanting to spend the diamond scene, but then with like the diamond scene in this chapter specifically is all emotional, so it's like you kind of feel
yes.
guilted into spending time with him.
Now that I realize both diamond scenes are, yeah, because even if you're going to get the little frog keepsake or whatever, that's a pretty emotional scene. Like, hey,
Mhm.
my house just burnt down, and like
Yeah.
I want to have this for my son
Yeah.
who
It was
doesn't
like
have a
the one thing
father.
that I grabbed from my place.
Yeah, and also it was stated like the baby doesn't have a
Mhm.
father. The father doesn't want to be in the picture, and her parents are dead, so he doesn't have grandparents either.
Mhm.
So little champ is really alone, you know?
You said you keep saying little G. Just can't. I just can't. I really just cannot. You can't. It's like every emotional thing you say is just really distracted by the fact that you keep calling this child little champ. I can't. I really can't.
I'm mad because it's coming off so naturally. I don't know what to call
No, I mean
him.
you really sound like a proud uncle. Like it's very
Right, right.
weird. It's
Yeah,
very
right.
foreign to me. I don't understand what this scene is evoking some sort of like sense of
I
family
know.
in you I've never
I
seen come out of you
know.
before.
Oh my
You're
god.
really becoming like a real family man over here, over little tadpole.
Little tadpole.
Yeah, little tadpole.
Oh Jesus.
Oh no. The further along we get into this book, the less I recognize you as a person. The
I
way
know,
that you
I
just really
know.
grasping onto fam. I feel like Dolores died and you said, I guess it's my job to raise you now, little
No,
cub.
I did. I did. I really did. I literally like for a split second, I was like, "Who gonna raise him?" And I was like, I said, "I'll
I
take
guess
him
it's my
in."
job. You said,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
guess it's my duty now.
Social services are gonna come in, and I would be like, "I would like to interview the foster home, please."
I am
Like,
absolutely done. I am absolutely done. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any questions or comments that you would like to be included in a future episode, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Questions can be related to books we've recorded episodes on, books that we haven't read yet, or even questions you'd like to ask us. Please specify if you want a shout out, otherwise all emails will be anonymous. Alternatively, you can go to our ask box on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com and submit a question. Just specify that is for the podcast and we'll be sure to include it. And back to our episode. Okay, let's just talk about the scene. So, I will say the diamond scene with Ethan is a very meaningful scene. Ethan opens up about what it's like to lose your first patient. Casey is embarrassed that they are emotional, but Ethan says that he would be concerned if she wasn't. Ethan assures Casey that they are finding their own way as a doctor and advises them not to try to model themselves after any one doctor in particular. We also gain some insight on him and Dolores' friendship, which seems very dear to him. The baby does thankfully survive the night. We do not have to deal with the second death within
right.
24 hours, thank God.
Hmm.
And Ethan will thank Casey for staying with him. Later, all of the interns are called into the foyer of the hospital where Dr. Emery will announce Naveen's retirement and officially reveals that one of the interns will be given the opportunity to join the diagnostic teams as a junior fellow. Any intern that wants to compete will be ranked. So that's where we're left off on chapter 4. Let's just do rapid fire impressions.
Oh, love it. Okay.
Ethan.
Okay. He's okay. These last two, okay. Just
Oh
okay.
no. Oh no.
No, 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 no. You're not losing me.
No,
You're
no,
not
no,
losing.
no, no, because
You're
come
not
chapter
losing.
5, you're gonna be a
You're
Ramsey-nator,
not.
and
No.
no.
You're not losing me. You're not losing me. It was just listen. The last diamond scene really, really, really did get to me because there's a dialogue option. There's a conversation where Casey's like, "Oh, does it get any easier?" And Ethan just kind of like, says something else, and Casey's like, "You didn't answer my question." And he's like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know." That scene just kind of, I was like, okay, it's just. No, no, no. You're not gonna lose me. V, you're not gonna lose me. You're
Only
not gonna
time
lose
will
me.
tell. Only time will tell.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, Jackie.
Oh, she chill. She a roomie. She chill.
Right, she kind of calmed down this chapter, these
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
chapters. I enjoyed it. Bryce.
Baby daddy, love him.
Yep, baby daddy. Aurora.
Who is she? What is she up to?
I just don't know her motives.
Like she, uh, ma- manipulative. No, not manipulative. What is the word? Just I don't know. I don't know. She making me
Aloof.
nervous.
She's
Oh
aloof.
yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Landry.
Love him. I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do love him. I don't know. Like I just like I think out of all the characters that are presented, he's
Mm-hmm.
the only one who's like, I'm really trying to like push myself in order to be like a really good doctor. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
all the other ones, they kind of have like dialogue and they mention things that suggest like interest outside of work, but he's
Mm-hmm.
always talking about fucking work. Like he's
Yeah.
like, he's like, I really need to get out of this living situation that I'm in so I can sleep and do better for work. Like he's just very,
Right.
and I can admire that.
Right. Yeah, no, he just really doesn't have, I hate to say it, but he doesn't have a lot of other things going for him in his
No, not at
life.
all. Not at all.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Sienna,
I'm worried. I'm concerned.
I am concerned about her. I really just
Yeah.
want to make sure that she's like, that she's loving herself.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to make sure that she's taking care of herself, and I'm not convinced that she is. Elijah,
Not much to go on. I kind of like his go-getter. He's chill. He's good.
Elijah just seems like a fun spirit, and I don't really have
Yeah.
anything else to say. Like they really haven't given him too much screen time.
At all. At all.
But I do enjoy Elijah's fun spirit, his vibe, his enthusiasm.
I like that the first thing, the dialogue that he does have is like, guys, let's throw a party. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's nice.
No, yeah, I mean, he seems to be like charismatic without being over the top,
Exactly. Yeah.
which I do appreciate. All right, the only thing left that we have is bingo. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. First unmarked box is someone's parental figure was a doctor.
No, that's not stated.
No. Someone bones in the on-call room. No.
Ugh, we almost boned in the observatory area of the
Oh, it would
OR.
have been so close. Yeah.
Oh,
A character is a surgical prodigy.
no, not stated.
So, let me tell you something.
Okay.
Um, Someone called me out by saying that Dr. Harper Emery is a surgical prodigy.
Oh,
Yeah, this should have been obvious.
I mean, yes, yes, but she's such a supporting character. I mean, yes, we didn't specify we weren't like the main character as a surgical prodigy.
Right, yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, the shoe fits.
The shoe does fit. A massive tragic accident happens inside the hospital. No. One patient's death hits a character harder than any others. Oh man.
I mean,
Maybe Dolores?
I think so. I think
I think
so.
that counts
B-
because
Um,
Ethan was really broken up about that.
And not to mention the conversations coming from Casey, like, like does this
Yeah.
happen a lot? How do we get over this? Does it
Mhm.
get easier? Like I
Right.
understand that being the first, but sometimes the first is always the hardest.
And also from Ethan's perspective, like he's seen plenty of patients die, but that was his
True.
friend.
And that was his first patient. So
Mhm.
like,
Yeah. Exactly.
oh my God, me me and Ethan's first patient died, right? Like
Oh,
that's like a no, you
no, it
got me
was not
beat.
your
No,
first patient.
you're
Was
right. It
not
wasn't.
was
It
not your
wasn't.
first patient, and not you trying to find
No,
something
no, no, no.
funny.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. What's the next bingo square?
Oh my God, we're losing him.
No, no. What's the next
I
bingo
feel
square?
you slipping away.
I can see what's happening,
Oh no.
and they don't have a clue. They'll fall in love, and here's the bottom line: our trio's down to two.
No, no, no.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Someone falls in love with the patient. No.
Mm-mm.
A character witnessed a death when they were younger, inspiring them to save lives.
Nope.
No. A character gains feelings for their attending our superior. That will be Lucas.
No.
3 chapters. 3 chapters.
No.
A character makes a mistake and kills someone. No.
No.
A character is able to diagnose a patient when no one else can. I don't think that happened in this chapter.
No. 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 No.
No.
No.
A character struggles balancing their career and their love life.
Mm.
No. Why are you saying What's the for?
I mean, well, she's not having trouble balancing the love life. I guess Sienna's man is.
Yeah. I don't think that counts. I think that
Yeah,
would
that's
have to
not on
be like
her. Yeah.
that would have to be like a time thing. Like, oh, I just don't have enough time.
Right, right,
Right?
right.
Okay. A character comes from a family that has known hardship.
No, that's not
No.
statement.
A character comes from a perfect family. Again, we don't really know.
No, yeah, no, that's still left up to interpretation.
A character struggles with what surgical specialty they want to be. Again, that's pretty much all on Bryce. We're still waiting for him to do that.
Right.
2 doctors become obsessed with a character and they struggle to choose one.
No.
No. A character becomes sleep deprived and starts to burn out. No.
No.
A character breaks a rule or law to save someone. Not yet.
Mm-mm.
One of Edenbrook's employees dies unexpectedly.
No.
No. So if we got 2 boxes, no bingo yet. No bingo. They're kind of slow in the medical tropes, but this is a 3-book long
Yes,
series. So I would say there is a potential to extend this throughout the entire series, I think.
Right.
Aside of just book 1. But okay, that's the end of our episode. Is there anything else you want to say to close this out?
I'm not falling in love with Ethan Ramsey.
Bodyguards, choosers, let us know how you feel in the comments. Do you trust him? Do you believe him? Jury's still out for me.
Oh,
Because this
Lord.
is, you know what? You would say something like that. You would say something like that.
Oh, God. Listen, if every character that we have, every patient we have, if he has to be on there with me and they die tragically and I gotta spend some diamond scene to mourn, maybe. But it's not gonna be like that. It's fine. This is a one and done. This was just, a moment of weakness. Little Champ's life was at stake. Okay, I had to be there for him.
I think you want to be a dad so badly, and I really just don't know why you're fiending for this.
No.
All it took was one guilty, dialogue, and you all up in this.
A dad? No. A gay uncle? Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Maybe even a godfather.
Oh.
I think I could take on that responsibility.
Oh. Users, let us know what you think. Would you like Lucas to be the godfather of your child? Please let us know. The title of this video is definitely going to be like Lucas becomes a Ramsey-nator. Absolutely. Or something like Lucas becomes a Ramsey-nator or we're losing him.
We're losing him. I love that. I love that. That's hilarious.
Or just losing Lucas. Like a very dramatic like movie title. Losing Lucas. Alright, well. Kind of nervous to record the next episode in open heart, to be honest with you, because I don't know where it's going to go, but I will brace myself for whatever turn that it takes, and, I want to take the opportunity to say that, Lucas, this is a safe space for you.
Thank you.
I want you to be able to express your feelings about the characters, no matter who they are or what your feelings are towards them, so this is a safe space for you. And, maybe if one of us likes Ethan, it'll be a welcoming space for the other readers who also share that same affinity for him.
Right.
So I hope, in the future, if you do change, continue to change your mind about this character, that you do feel comfortable enough to open up with me about this.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. I will not be doing that. So maybe you all can, relate to Lucas on that level if it comes to that point. I would love to see them pit Bryce and Ethan together to see how you react to it.
Bryce.
There was a pause.
No!
Y'all felt that? Did y'all feel the tension? Did y'all feel the tension? Did y'all feel the tension?
The gasp in my head, I'm like, it's Bryce. And I was like, why am I creating a pause?
Right. Just for the dramatics, the theatrics?
This is not a if you can't beat them, join them scenario. Like, Bryce has my heart.
Okay.
Okay, Bryce has my heart. I
Mm-hmm.
told you he mine. Okay.
But in the same breath after that, you said that sometimes you look at other characters and go,
I did know.
uh-huh.
No, listen.
Who
It's
was
just
that in reference to,
no,
Lucas? Who was that in
no,
reference to?
no. It's just a coincidence that I did not take Bryce's scene, and then right around the corner, I had to take Ramsey's scene. It's just a
Uh-huh.
coincidence.
Just a
Okay.
coincidence, y'all.
Now that
Just a
I know how this
coincidence.
writing style is, I am
Because he didn't
going.
know before.
I didn't know. I'm gonna be prepared. Okay. I'm gonna be
Okay.
prepared.
Okay. Well, someone sound a code blue because we're losing him.
Cold blue, cold blue.
Code blue, please. We need all hands on deck. I don't know how doctors talk to each other, but code blue in room 127. We're losing
hmm
Lucas. He's falling for Dr. Ethan Ramsey. He's
Oh,
fallen and he can't get up. He's fallen and he can't get up.
I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely.
not yet. I meant not. No,
Not yet.
no,
Hold on.
no, 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 no.
Before you talk, the deeper hole you dig for yourself.
Wait, did you hear me?
Uh
I went from not yet to like I was like, wait, what? That's
huh.
not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Oh, let me just go ahead and end the episode before you can just continue to. You're fussing your mouth. You're about to make it up to your ankle. Let me tell
Oh
you. So
my
you just better
god.
say bye. Say bye. Say bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you all so much for listening. We release episodes every Saturday, midnight EST. We also announce on our social medias when our episodes release. You can follow us on Twitter on @playchoicespodcast. You can also follow us on Tumblr and Instagram @playchoicespodcast. Yep, that's it. Okay, bye.
Bye.